This is Michigan Constitutional Crusader. We're out here at the Mount Morris Township for a township meeting. I've been hearing it's been quite the clown show out here, so let's see what happens. Supposed to start at 5:30, but none of the township people are here. Go figure.
Yeah, too busy telling the public they can't come in till 5:30.
Yeah, when it's scheduled for 5.
Alright.
Yeah, I told Mom to leave a screenshot. I'd take a nice good picture of that.
What?
So it was scheduled for 5 and I'll stand here at 5 and it's closed.
Right.
You know what I think I'm about to do? I'm about to throw a lawsuit myself. I'm going to force the boards into constitutional education.
They needed it.
Everybody does. I didn't know none of this stuff till COVID started. I was completely blind myself.
She's a good town girl. You don't know about her.
Yeah. But some people aren't blessed with the job I had. You play it on repeat 500 times.
I knew I smelled bacon.
Yeah.
Kind of smells like rotten bacon.
Maybe.
Maybe.
How's Kenzie feeling?
Well, for me.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Fermented bacon.
Right.
Oh,
Or is it
okay.
smoked bacon?
That's what I'm,
Just in there.
that's kind of
Oh.
what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
turned on to someone else.
Crispy?
It's got the dry rub on it.
Right.
He's quite spirited, isn't he?
Texture.
Yeah.
For sure.
Shaved bacon.
What's that?
That's bold.
Alright. Who's that guy over there?
No, one of the police canines.
Good, how are you? Yeah, let me grab those and I'll put them down there. Thanks.
From what everybody's been telling me, I've heard it from a few different birdies, is it's a clown show here, so we're gonna see what happens today.
I want to go record that now.
5:30 p.m. I call the Mount Morris Township Board meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Ms. Laura.
Present.
Ms. Loper.
Present.
Mr. Baxter. Absent. Myself present. Mr. Green.
Present.
Mr. Mays.
Present.
Ms. Dunn.
Present.
Mr. Baxter. Present. All present.
Need a motion to approve the agenda for the board meeting February the 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Ms. Loper.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Mays.
Yes.
Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the board meeting of January the 27th, 2025. What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Support.
and support. Is there any further discussion? Vote please.
Ms. Lover,
Yes.
Mr. Baxter,
Yes.
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Ms. Sutton, Mr. Manning,
Yes.
Ms. Jones, Ms. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Terry, 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is payment of the bills from January 23rd, 2025 to February 5th of 2025 in amounts of $667,467.38. What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Support.
Is that local?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a motion and support to pay the bills from January 23rd to February the 5th, in a total of $667,467.38. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Vote please.
Mr. Baxter,
Yes.
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Ms. Sutton, Mr. Manning,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Dorr,
Yes.
Ms. Lover,
Yes.
Mr. Terry, 7-0.
At this time, we set aside 3 minutes for public comments in regards to agenda items only. Anyone wishing to address the board in regards to agenda items?
Good evening to
Agenda items
the Mount
only.
Morris Township Board. Good to see you guys. Just one thing I
Should be whatever
noticed
you wanna
that,
talk about.
I'm sorry, Jolene Sands, 5432 Sarah Rose Drive. I noticed that you all on the agenda have Financial Director Holmes' contract. And board members, those of you who were here, I know that you all know that Finance Director has done a wonderful job for us when we were kind of sinking, but there's no other person that came in. Finance Director Holmes came in, he helped us, he brought grants into the township. And I just want y'all to be mindful when y'all looking at his contract, to know that he has done a wonderful, wonderful job. He makes sure when the time for audit, he's on time for the audit. And just everything, and also the fact that he did go to Lansing with the residents, he didn't have to go, but he did, to help bring back the $2.3 million that we received for roads. So board members, just be mindful when you're doing his contract, and just take into consideration that he has done a wonderful job. Thanks, have a good.
My name, excuse me, is Melvin Williams, 4064 Kimberly Woods Drive. I don't see on the agenda here non-agenda items. Is that omitted for a reason, or do I get a chance to?
You can
Address
address the
it.
board at the end of the board meeting. We have citizens' comments where you can discuss anything.
I don't see it on the agenda here.
Public comments.
On the back.
On the front, public comments next to the
Second to the
madam,
last item,
just before attorney
public
report.
comments, 3 minutes.
Bottom of
Front
the page,
page.
sir. Public
There you
comments.
go. Second to the last item.
No, here it is. Yeah, right here. Right here.
Okay,
It
I'm
will be
sorry.
announced as
I see.
well.
Okay.
Anyone else wishing to make public comments in regards to agenda items? Seeing none?
Right here.
Oh,
What do,
Nate?
my name's Jason, I'm here about the, school in Cornell.
Okay, it's not on the agenda item. You have to discuss that at the end of the meeting, sir.
Okay,
You can only discuss agenda.
I wanna discuss the constitutionality of all your agenda
Discuss
items.
Agenda items?
That's agenda items.
Okay, no, it's not.
Just the address isn't an agenda
Sir,
item.
it's not an agenda item. You can discuss that at the end of the.
But I'm not talking about the school, I'm talking about the constitutionality of all of your public agenda items.
Legal counsel?
It's not on the agenda. We've provided public comment for non-agenda items. I just asked that you follow the schedule, sir.
Okay, but this is about the agenda items, not the school.
Which agenda item is it about?
All of them. I wanna know your constitutional basis for all of your agenda items.
Have a seat, sir.
You can address that at the end.
You can address that.
But isn't that an agenda item?
No.
Oh. Oh.
You're making a comment about the agenda item.
Anyone
It
else
should be.
wishing to address the
fall under
board
that.
in regards to agenda items only? We will close public comments in regards to agenda items only. Unfinished business. Treasury request to promote Dorothy G. Johnson to level 3 according to the GELC contract by March 30th, 2023. Need a motion to untable.
Support.
Have a motion to untable. Roll call.
Mr. Green.
No.
Myself, yes. Mr. Mays.
Yes.
Ms. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Ms. Wolford.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
For this particular item, I'm going to rescind the motion at this time. This is something that, needs to be, looked at a later date.
So you're requesting this be removed from the
Yes.
agenda?
Yes, I'm rescinding the motion.
Do I have support?
Support.
Ms. Wolford?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Myself, yes. Mr. Mays.
Yes.
Ms. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Ms. Wolford.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next unfinished business, treasurer appointment of Holly Beckett as deputy treasurer, request to approve. Need a motion to remove it from the table?
Support.
On table.
Need a motion, who supported it?
I did.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Mays.
Yes.
Ms. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Ms. Wolford.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carries 7-0.
And unfortunately, Beckett has gained employment, elsewhere, so, can't be considered, so we need to remove this.
We have a motion to remove it from the agenda. Do I have support?
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Ms. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Ms. Wolford.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Mays.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
New business. Supervisor's request to appoint Jane Odell as an alternate to the Board of Review.
So moved.
Support.
And a motion by Loper, supported by Ellen, to appoint Jane Odell as an alternate to the Board of Review. Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Ms. Wolford.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Mays.
Yes.
Ms. Jones. Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is financial director employees contract. I have sent the financial director's contract to legal counsel to review his request. I'm asking that this be tabled.
I don't,
Can I make a comment?
I have a tabling motion. Do I have support?
Support.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Wolford.
no.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Mays. Mr. Mays.
And this is a motion to do what?
Table.
That was totally reviewed by legal counsel. this is to table the contract as it stands.
That's what I wanna know, why are we tabling it? Why are you asking to table it? We put a motion out here to table it on what grounds?
Table it, because I sent it to legal counsel for total review.
Well, we got it Thursday, so what else is there to review that why it's tabled? I'm not understanding if the council has reviewed it.
I have not reviewed this yet.
Has not reviewed it yet.
And we're still in for a vote, we're not in discussion yet.
Correct.
Okay. So, this is the table. This is the table, the 4-year contract?
No, it's to table to get it back from legal counsel that he reviewed.
It seems they like to put a lot of stuff out back then. Yeah.
And legal counsel haven't reviewed. Do you know when they review?
As soon as possible, I can have it reviewed, but certainly by the next meeting. And, if it needs to be a shorter time, I don't think there's something shorter.
I mean, if you got it Thursday, why now?
This is the contract.
Mr. May, we're here for the vote, and we got discussion afterwards.
You can ask if you wanna know why we tabling it. Why it's being asked to be tabled, it hasn't been tabled yet.
Supervisor, there seems to be some kind of, misunderstanding as to what it is that he's tabling. The whole contract as it's written, or just the fact that we're going to discuss this?
Now, Mr. Holmes submitted a proposed contract to me to review what he wanted. I sent it to legal counsel for his total review in regards to reviewing it, to protect the board in regards to a 4-year contract. In the past, we have only give finance director and legal counsel 1-year contracts, renewable on an annual basis when I was supervisor.
Okay.
And so consequently, I requested it to be sent to legal counsel to review the language of the contract. And what Mr. Holmes was requesting, his contract does not renew until the end of March. It expires his present contract.
Did we send other ones before we, brought them up to go for legal review? Did we table anybody else's?
I don't remember tabling anybody for legal review.
I don't remember anyone being brought to the board prior to it expiring either.
Clear
Of course,
bias.
they all have to be
Clear
brought to
bias.
vote before the board,
Unconstitutional.
before they retire, before they
Not this
expire.
far in advance.
We're talking 30 days. We're talking 6 weeks ahead of the contract,
You
and
said presidents, or you being biased?
We have not had the opportunity to even negotiate, okay? So, we need your vote, sir.
Don't know.
nervous about inside pressure. If that's the case, then that's a real problem.
So, tabling this, there will be no discussion, any further discussion tonight. So you refuse? I need to discuss. So, I'm going to vote not to table this.
Ms. Summer?
No.
Ms. Warren?
No.
Ms. Bell, 3-4.
Oh, Mr. Green didn't get his way.
Alright, I would like to, make a motion that we approve, Mr. Holmes' contract. Go ahead.
Before the motion, I just wanna know,
You need a motion to discuss it.
okay,
So that's what I wanna make a motion, so we can discuss it. A motion so that we can, take a look at the financial director's employment contract. My motion would be that we offer him a 3-year, 3%, for this contract.
Can you just summarize that, but again, a little bit clearer?
Okay. For a little bit clearer. Okay, I make the motion that we approve Latrell Holmes' contract for 3 years at 3% increase, each year.
Any support of that?
support.
I have a motion to approve Latrell Holmes' contract for 3 years at 3% per year. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion on the motion?
I have a question. So, the difference is, you were having discrepancy in the years. His last contract, if I'm correct, it was for 2 years. That was the last contract, it was two years. And he came in on a 1-year contract, and then he had a 2-year contract. So that was the only discrepancy you had?
No, he requested a 4-year contract at 3% per year for 4 years,
Okay, so
which
it's
would be
not,
over 12% in a 4-year period. I sent it to legal counsel for review because we've never given 3% per year for 4 years, which would calculate more than 12% increase in a short period of time.
but we have given for 3% for 4 years with the GELC contract, and we have given that with other contracts.
GELC contract is a 3-year contract.
Well, did you ask for 3?
Yes.
I didn't know what your motion
No,
was.
I asked for 3 years, 3%.
So it's the same as theirs?
You
And
asked
then
me
the
why
other-
you sent it to legal counsel, I said
Okay.
because he had asked for a 4-year contract.
Okay, so it's not
Motion
4
is a
years
3
now,
year.
it's at 3.
That's
That's
what
what I
she
was trying to get to, Mr. Green,
Yes.
while you were asking that. So that was your discrepancy, is the amount of the years. So instead of it being 4, so it's not 4 years, it's down to the
The
3, like
number
you
of
matched
years
the other
and the other
ones.
thing that's
Okay.
in the contract that he was asking, okay?
Okay,
So I sent it to legal counsel for review.
okay, well, it's a motion on the table, you can vote it up or.
Any further discussion on the motion?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things that
Procedure.
that was just.
But it's not, I'm not live broadcasting.
From just.
I'll put it up as soon as I get home though.
Speak.
Can you hear Mr. Holmes?
It's still in the discussion and then.
Then we don't have to vote.
This is vacation language,
Can you specify what page you're?
I'm referring to, page, term, I think it's under 2.1. I'm just trying to see all the, first page is one, reading what it says, but I'm highlighting everything in bold, so everybody's just not aware of 3%.
I have a question for you, Dwayne. He was at Will before, this is what he's
No,
talking
no,
about.
I'm just pointing it out, that's all I'm saying, we're going through it.
Okay, cause that's what I'm asking, what
I
is,
believe,
We
just to
need
be
to
clear
point
now,
out changes.
not what's
not
in
the
there,
same
right,
thing.
there's nothing has
I'm just saying
changed.
it's bold, I'm just pointing out the
there
bold.
is a change in there.
What is the change?
It modifies at will, which is at any time we can terminate with the vote of the board, to at will nature of the employment will be guided by the public policies and implied covenant of good faith exceptions. I don't know what that's referring to.
That's
When
correct.
it's not written on what we're looking at either.
I'm looking at,
It's,
I mean, it was in
their
their
agenda packet, that's the new one.
This is
the
the
old
one-
so is there,
What we
That's the
got,
current one.
this is the current one, the one we got in the packet don't have that.
It does, it's in the new one.
Is this the one that somebody wrote on?
That will be the cleaner version of that one.
You have the new.
Very disappointing.
What page is that on?
Huh?
Very
First
disappointing.
page,
Nope.
new proposal.
first page under, two point.
What's that? It's the most trouble I see.
Be corrected, just like this is correct, anything else. We always get the new ones and the old ones, why didn't we get them both together first time?
You did, there's one that's right now.
I said,
Aren't they serving you the people?
The old contract, the old contract is behind, the one that's adjusted. They're both.
When I read that, I was reading that.
I mean, why the hell should he get 3% every year?
Employee handbook, employer contract, there are things in there that.
But why should he get 3% a year increase?
we can't hear you.
Huh?
Can you hear me now?
Three percent.
Yeah, go.
Okay, when I read that,
Increases by
it
3%.
says public policies and implied covenants of good faith exceptions, does that have to do with our policies? We have employment policies, our handbook,
If they are, I would,
Next year.
best practice would be that that is explicitly referred to when we were talking about the employee. Is that what that's coming from?
Or you change the status?
I think it makes sense to.
to have him
Mr.
clarify what that means.
With the permission of the board.
The board presidents, first of all, thank you for the consideration. The language in paragraph 2.1, it does not change the fact that I am an at-will employee, but it will give me some protections that will prevent me from being removed from my position because I see a decision that you have made or a directive that you have given to not be consistent with the Michigan compliant laws or consistent with governmental accounting standards. In other words, it's something that I cannot be pushed into doing simply because you're my supervisors and directing me to do it. That is what those implied covenants of good faith mean. It does not mean that at any time that you can still not do what you can do with an at-will employee, but it does give me some cause for you to tell me why, and an opportunity to have that discussion. There, it does not change, and it does not correspond to just cause, but it does give me at least some coverages during what has in the past been some very tumultuous times here at this township. I believe it's fair. I don't believe that it gets beyond anything that you have desired as an at-will employee. With 2.1. I don't know if that's all that I'm allowed to speak to at this point.
No, because I have another question, all right, you speak, you good, sir. No, because I'm saying a highlight, I'm just getting, the resolution, the dispute resolution has been changed too, from the current one to, page 5.
Page 5 corresponds with what that allows also. In the dispute resolution, again, that ties to those same policies that imply covenant of good faith. It just simply says, we're gonna have a conversation. You're just not gonna say, Latrell, you're done, I don't like you, and you gotta go. There, we can have a conversation. At the end, you still get your decision, but I walk away with some fodder to, if I feel I'm wrong, we'll have a conversation, a second conversation. So it simply does what that means. The arbitration is not arbitrating any of your decisions. It's your decision. I take it to an arbitrator based upon the unfairness of that decision or the perceptive unfairness of it all. We'll have a subsequent conversation. And that corresponds directly with those changes that I'm asking for in 2.1.
Okay, so just that, I'm just giving a little backdrop for the board. We took this out with Gary, and was trying to get this taken out of all contracts, but this was the costly part of making it difficult in a time in which we need to separate from employees. The arbitration part, you will still have your EEOC protection, they still can file it and all that things, but the resolutions were not, this dispute resolution had us tied up in a litigation before, which we said. So we did avoid at all costs to go with this language that's in, as we see it in 6.1. That's there for all individuals of support
Glad
contracts.
that you mentioned
Are we
Mr. Paul.
5.1 or 6.1?
We're in 6.1, which, go ahead.
No, go ahead, no.
I can concur with that, that we could do the 6.1. I thought the main issue was the amount of years, but the 6.1, I would have to agree with keeping it at, where it's at, so that it won't cost us. Now, the 2.1, if we're asking him to do something, because, well, I'm not a supervisor, if I was a supervisor, I was asking him to do something, because I have the right to, and it does not correspond with the laws as far as accounting, I agree with that one, but the 6.1, I can live with putting that back in as it was before.
I mean, essentially that takes,
Dispute is 5.1.
I meant,
5.1 is
that's
what
my
we have.
bad.
5.1 is in the current contract, 5.1 and 2. 6.1 is what is requested. Our legal, before said, all contracts, all these 3 or 4 paragraphs under that needs to come out. It makes it muddy.
I believe this same language is in other contracts that you have
Keep
offered.
5.1, just keep 5.1.
And get rid of 6 altogether.
That's correct.
That's what?
6.1.
Gary.
Okay.
Okay. So, when did he say that?
Well, I
We
have.
reviewed it in December. There was a
So it
review
has
by,
been with
yes,
legal counsel.
it has been, this was presented in December. Mr. Polk had reviewed this early part of the month of December.
So, I'm confused, they just said that we had sent it to legal counsel, so.
I'm not sure.
I didn't know your contract went there, that's news to me. But this has been said before and over with contracts. I can't say that I've seen it come from Gary in December, because this is the first time I've seen a contract.
Mr. Polk, I can provide you all the string of emails that correspond to what I'm saying.
Yeah, he wants 5.1 and 5.2 to stay.
5.1, 5.2 to stay, okay.
So I just wanna step in for a second. So in the packet, there is a contract that has strike-throughs.
That's the new one. That's the proposal.
Who struck that?
This was, I struck that out in my proposal, to the supervisor.
Right, so
Nope,
my
it's
understanding
locked.
is that the 5.1 and 5.2 that
2
he
by
struck
5s
out,
and they're both
that
locked.
language, which involves, that he has 180 days to bring the claim, and that he waives the right to jury trial, that is Gary Phelps' recommended manner in which we, resolve disputes.
That's correct.
That we get rid of arbitration, we allow them to bring, a claim in civil court within 180 days of their termination, but that they agree to waive jury trial because that cuts down on cost at trial, so it would be a bench trial in front of the jury. That is my understanding.
And that's in your current one as we speak contract. As of today.
Yes.
The very
Yes.
first
Yes.
one, I did, but the very first one that I came in on had this resolution. This current contract that I'm under, there were several things changed in there that I wasn't aware of, which is why these things are in red for you today, because I wanted to draw attention to the areas that I would like to see change. But in the very first contract, this language was in there. When it came out, the current one, I don't know. There also, in the current language was my 2 floating holidays was taken out. Mr. Green brought that to my attention. I was totally unaware of that. So there was language taken out without this type of discussion, there before. So I went back to the original contract. And that's where I got this language from.
And just to clarify legal review, I believe Gary Felt reviewed Mr. Holmes' current contract in December, made suggested revisions to it that then went to Mr. Holmes, and then Mr. Holmes sent this
That, yeah,
re-revised contract to
That's
be
correct.
included in the board packet, which is,
Based
The
on
one-
what he spoke with Gary about.
that's correct.
did you have a
Yes,
conversation
sir.
with Gary?
I didn't have one directly, but through then Supervisor Sims, we did have that conversation, and he and I was communicating.
So
Yeah.
I don't know that, I know that I haven't, I don't believe that Gary Falk has reviewed the contract that is in our packet.
Speed has not.
That's just to be clear about the legal.
Yes, he has.
Where did the changes come from again? He gave you these changes that need to be made? I'm just
He,
trying to get
no,
clarification. So
what happened in that
voted up or
conversation,
voted down,
the first communication was sent to him, Gary sent something back, and it says that he had concerns with the volume of employee personnel related claims that was coming against the township, that this would further allow for that to come. I'm not a person that sues unless I'm really been mistreated, but it is, that was his thing. I went back to the first contract again, put this in here, and this is my response back to Mr. Phelps and to, again, the supervisor when I presented it to him in December there. So, you know, I actually will accept the fact that we go back to 5.1 and 5.2, but I am still going to go on record as saying, I don't believe that's fair. I believe that there's other contracts in this township that has this language in it. One of the most recently approved ones was for our police chief, that has this dispute language in there. And so I'm a little bit concerned that that would not be in there, but to move this forward, which I would need for more peace of mind, there is that I'll acquiesce in both the 3 years at 3% and removing this. There was one other piece of this document that you all have not spoken about, and that was my request for the hours of vacation to be addressed as well, which is in paragraph 4.7 A there. So just to be totally transparent, I want to draw you to all of the areas in there that was that are asking to be changed. Gary actually put 4.9 language in there himself, there that spoke to the ESA Act that's coming into play in this month there. So this is further confirmation that we reviewed this there, and he had his input there. That's his language in 4.9.
Sorry, 4.9 is the one that I'm looking at.
On page
Table
four.
involves speakers.
No, that's another issue. It's in the packet. You need to cover it. Do you have it? The one that you have on the thing is current contract that he's signing of this year. They're all the same thing, but the one has some verbiage on it.
One was off.
So it's not the same, if it's got verbiage that the other one didn't have, that's my point. Even if it's just a paragraph, it ends up getting lost in the mix. I mean, we've got one with this paragraph and another one with this paragraph. This is the first contract, this is the second contract. And I absolutely agree that if we don't revisit contracts and get these contracts on the same page, why shouldn't, someone be able to have a jury trial unless all of us can't have a jury trial as far as our employees go? That's all I have to say.
So can we put this in perspective? You're asking for 3 years at 3%, keep the language of the 5.2, or keep the language of number 5, the dispute resolution, keep that as is, and take out, what was number 6?
And then the change also,
For the holiday, for the 4/7. Is that correct?
And 2.1, that language in 2.1, I would like that public policies and implied covenant of good faith be added in there for the further clarification of that will.
Okay.
This is another clarifying question, and again, this is just because I'm ultimately gonna be trying to interpret this. Where did you get the implied covenant of good faith exception? Is that coming from a legal document, or?
So my attorney and the former Genesee County Circuit Judge advised me of some protections that did exist under the at will. There's 9 of them. And these 2 of the 9 exceptions that I believe corresponds with me.
With all the changes and stuff being made and his contract not expiring into the end of March, I think we should send it either to Gary, there's conversation being Gary said this, Gary said that. The attorney here is asking about language in it. We have time. It should go back, get all the changes that he wants to have changed and bring it back in one contract without any of the changes made so we know exactly what we're doing. I mean, we have time. We have, 6 weeks.
This is a discussion.
So I'm just saying, so I'll make a motion to table because of the confusion that's going on again. I'll make a motion to table to get clarification of the contract, to send it to, if I from Gary, if I from the.
Denied a table.
I'm asking the table because for clarification, because I'm confused of what, who said what, where is that? Legal here is asking questions about something.
We have a motion by Baxter to table.
She got a motion first, Mr. Ring.
You can motion to table at any time. You can motion to table at any time, and it's an up and down vote.
Have a motion by Baxter to table. Do I have support?
You get clarity.
And the motion to table is for clarity.
I'm just curious whether
Roll call, please.
employees constitutional rights to sue. Jesus Christ. Crazy. This man's up here fighting
I
tonight.
understand. Yep. He wants lubrication, but his fucking ass, he doesn't wanna drive.
Yes, the table.
Literally.
Under the can hold it.
3% for 3 years with, as we speak, leaving 5.1 and 5.2.
So, again, I want to clarify to everyone, step by step, that's the yes. The language in 2.1,
They do that much money.
I think that, that's for everything, it's just still an at-will contract, it's not just.
it's not no just cause, no, but it does give me some protection. It is not a just cause contract, no, but it just means that
I think what I'm hearing, him say is that, he doesn't wanna be fired for following the law of Michigan.
exactly.
It sounds like to me.
And that would be retaliatory and a crime, and whoever does that should be arrested by your chief on the spot. So next,
Protection he's trying to get.
And
Jesus
then
Christ,
some,
we're gonna have to lose
changes,
this shit.
paragraph 4,
It's
7,
fucking insane,
8,
the tyranny here. Who's the tyrant that's gotta go? That's the question.
Force
4, 7, 8.
I wish they would.
I'll forego the change in 6.1, so we can go back to the original language in 5. Although again, I don't think that's fair. And that'll be the contract.
So what did we say, 4.7 is going with your changes or the attorneys?
Say again, sir. What happened?
No, 4.7 was the recommendation of Gary as A, is crossed out by you, and your language on this.
Well, the good language that Gary crossed out correspond to the 4-year language. I think it's more clarifying, that'll be my request, for the 3-year, and it say the 120 hours. And that would be it.
So I have one other thing, and this is just a question. I'm new. Have we had any problems with this one? Or is this something that can be discussed and
I have absolutely no problem. As a matter of fact, he's been very helpful and he's been given, information in a timely manner, by my office, to assist him doing his job more efficiently.
Mr. Mays, may I add the millions that went to applies for the grants, he looks and researches for the grants. In reality, that's a whole job in itself, but he does it as a part of this contract. Never, ever has another financial director received the amount of money he has for this township. And it should be commended.
As a trustee, when I asked, to answer your question, Mr. Mays, when I asked, can we afford it, where's the money coming from? He has an answer for me. So when I asked that quite a bit, because at the end of the day, we're the ones making the decisions for the residents who live in this township. And we're trying to make the decisions, and for us to be not sure about finance director, we came here, and within a week, we were told our financial director was leaving. So we were scrambling around trying to find somebody. And I will admit, the first person we got,
supposed to be publicly
there was
broadcast,
issues and problems.
and they're
And by
not
the time we brought
broadcasting
him
like
in,
they're supposed
we
to.
were sinking fast, and he did come in. Now, one of the big questions is, as we so noted, as somebody decided
There's
that
no
it was okay
service
to write
down
on
here,
his
so I
contract
can't go
about some
live.
things that this is being done by audit firm, he had to have audit firms come in because there were things that had not been done. And let's just be honest, it had not been done by the previous financial director. It had not been done, things had not been balanced, things were not up to par. So to get us up to speed, there has been a lot of interaction with auditors coming in and making sure that we got right side up. And I truly believe that we are on the right side now. So for us to, we'll just have a 1 year, I think that's absurd because he came in with a 1 year, then we give him a 2 year, then we wanna go back to 1 year. I mean, we're going to have to go back because we need some consistency and we need some continuity.
And
And I think in 3 years, we should be able to see where we're going. I mean, we already see where we're going. And so a 3-year contract, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's me, and I'm just one vote. If we put that on the record, when somebody says I'm trying to do somebody else, I am one vote. But for the record, I think a 3-year contract is feasible. And that's what we've been doing. And at least it's consistent with the other contracts. We're giving those other people the other contracts 3 years as well, so.
Mr. Mays, can I add also, well, because this was before, you got on the board, but it was through, Mr. Holmes' leadership and the red flag originally was raised by Greg, about these legacy costs. This board was not aware that we are millions of dollars in the hole for our legacy costs, that we have to catch up on, that he's been working with the state of Michigan to get some of it forgiven, to get grants for some of the other, so it's been a constant thing. It was never even brought up on the board in the past. And so all of this, along with other things, were brought to light through his tenure here.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the Latrell Homes contract for 3 years at 3% per year. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Just have one question for clarification. And so, in the proposed contract in 4-2, because it's a 3-year, are we striking out the 4-1 to 28 to 3-31 to 29?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
Ms. Stone.
Yes.
Ms. Dora.
Yes.
Ms. Bolton.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green. Myself. Yes.
Supervisor Bailey, excuse?
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the treasurer's request to assign Sonia Burns to the Treasury Department until March 31st of 2025 to assist with cross-training of water, sewer, tax processing, and 2024 tax settlement for Dorothy Johnson.
And my new
It's not on what you would request. So you're adding also the deputy treasurer?
she'll be present for the training as well as. It came to my attention that, Ms. Burns actually, has managed the tax settlement for this township for a number of years. So, it's it's important to make sure that we're on the same page with that process. And for cross-training, of course. And once the taxes are settled, March, we have a little reprieve, April, May, June-ish, and then we'll start the 25 season. Summer kicks up for July, and then we're in full swing again for another 10 months.
So what's the motion again, so we can get some clarity?
Just to have Sonia in the department, so she still can do her IT, she does.
The
Motion
motion,
to bring Sonia into my department.
Okay, and support.
Until March 31st.
okay, but what she's asking for is to bring Sonia into the department on March 31st to assist with the cross-training of water, sewer, tax processing in the 24 tax settlements. Okay, that's more than just one. And those are jobs that are normally done by the treasurer and the deputy treasurer, not by a cashier.
They're normally done by Sonia Burns.
They have been in the past.
Correct.
And now you're asking to have a cashier to be trained in this.
To learn how to do it, yes, we need a backup. If Sonia were to be
I'm not-
hit by a bus, heaven
Yeah.
forbid that ever happened, we need
You-
people to know what they're doing.
Okay. That's what she's requesting.
And you,
Who supported that motion?
I need support.
okay, support it.
Okay.
Any further discussion on the motion?
I do, maybe I thought we had already did March.
We did,
So what,
with her having to request to use her. And she has not made that request to the supervisor's office, she brought it directly to the board. I don't have a problem with training Ms. Johnson on sewer and water. I have problem training her on settling the tax roll portion. That is something that needs to be done with the deputy treasurer and the treasurer, if they need to be trained in those departments, not a cashier. Cashier's designed to collect taxes, sewer and water bills.
So it's going outside her job description, is what you're saying? The only, the tax processing and the settlement part of it.
Right.
so,
Okay.
That is not a part of the job description of the cashier.
She does the tax processing, she takes tax payments.
She collects tax payments and sewer and water bills.
She being Sonia, are you speaking of?
No,
Jean,
Jean.
okay,
I'm talking Mrs. Johnson.
okay.
She works in both areas. It's just to give her a little bit more knowledge if Sonia's not available.
And is there anybody else in the office that knows this tax processing and tax settlement other than Sonia?
Ginger is quite knowledgeable.
Okay.
Yes, she is quite knowledgeable.
And the deputy treasurer.
Who's deputy treasurer. She has years of experience, but again, the way we've processed things and how we manage our accounts, it's apples and oranges when you're working from one municipality to another.
Would you feel comfortable, Jonna, if we were to say, cross-training for the water and sewer, but leave this tax processing and tax settlement to Ginger and Sonia?
And Sonia,
yeah,
okay.
because my concern is, if it's not in her job description and somebody files a grievance or something,
Yeah.
that's my concern. I don't want any grievance to go against, Ms. Johnson, so
Right.
if we take something out of the job description and,
Okay,
okay.
I'm agreeable to that.
And would this be on a, every day, all day between now and March 31st, Ms. King? Or would it be so many days, 2 days with you, 2 days with the supervisor's office? Which way would you be looking for?
The motion was as requested.
As requested,
Okay. Up to that period of time.
I got you.
any requests.
And Supervisor, would you want those requests verbally, through the emails? Is there a better way to get that information to you when there is a request?
I would like it in writing to make sure that living up with the contract that Sonia is under, the GLC, so there isn't any conflict. If she asked to use her and Sonia had asked for that day off, I can't grant that.
I understand.
And part of the union contract says notifications on vacation stuff have to be 30 days in advance.
Right.
So I don't know. That's why she sends me the request in writing, asked me in writing. I can review it and respond.
Okay, and the writing could be via email, would be okay with you? Okay, I just wanna, that way we can clarify how that communication is supposed to happen and know what our expectations are for it.
The first meeting I seen, they had to put this on the stuff, because she had to give me the check her email. I was on the meeting, she opened it, and said,
Twenty twenty-four tax settlement.
Motion is to request that have Sonia Burns help the Treasury Department from March 31st, or until March 31st, 25, to assist with the cost training of sewer and water for Dorothy Johnson. Any further discussion on the motion?
So are we required, excuse my confusion, but are we saying that she's gotta ask you for, or is now she over there? Or is she still in your
She
department?
had not, your original motion was that when she needed to use her, she would request that.
Exactly.
And I said 99%, 0.9% of the time, there probably wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
But at least ask. She hasn't asked, so she brings it to the board and says, will you give that consent to send her over there?
I think we gave the consent already.
You did.
But we didn't specify, this cross-training, I don't remember being a part of it.
Right.
And I don't remember tax processing, so there is another couple phrases at the end that have been added. So we've
She
taken those
had
out.
requested that that be removed.
So we're back to.
And so we're
something
back
about-
to
we've already
sewer and
okayed.
water training. Okay?
I mean, I read it as, it's not asking to be, asking a supervisor, I mean, it's, I think my understanding is you're asking her to be assigned to the Treasury Department
That's
to
correct.
March 31st. So,
So you would rescind this motion and let it be as it is?
I'm just, I mean, the motion here says assigned, so she would be under the Treasury.
We already got the minutes, we already know what.
That's already been done, am I
That's
correct?
correct.
Yeah, so we're like redoing something, if we take that back into the sentence off, we're just redoing something we've already okayed.
Are you okay with rescinding the motion since we already voted on this?
And she'll be able to come in, okay,
As needed, once you request it through the super.
You would
through
email.
email,
Yeah.
very good.
So, just a motion to rescind.
Just as clarification, we did this before with our previous treasurer, we allowed the same thing to happen, so it's nothing new. And so, to afford Ms. Donna that same privilege, it's nothing new that it was requested that whenever, during that time, specifically to help with taxes.
Motion to rescind the motion.
I support it. She made the motion, I support the rescind. Okay, Mr. Mays,
Yes.
Ms. Zona,
Yes.
Ms. Dora,
Yes.
Ms. Wolfer,
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Sub, yes, motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is the treasurer's appointment of deputy treasurer. Would prefer this to be tabled so that the contract language can be sent to legal counsel, because what she brought over and what we had reviewed isn't what the last email that she sent me in regards to the contract. She wanted exactly everything that was in the contract for the deputy clerk.
That's not true.
And that contract has been sent to legal counsel to review and bring something back to us in regards to the deputy clerk for our next meeting.
this contract, actually, I used, finance director's template, and then there were some things added as far as, employee benefits, but, Ginger is gonna be an at-will employee. There is the dispute resolution information in there that was struck from Mr. Holmes, and I'm willing to strike that as well and put that, 5.1 back in.
So let's do this right, let's get a motion of support before we start talking.
Yeah, that's
then-
what I said. Bear in mind,
Okay, I need a motion.
motion to appoint Ginger Berth Miller as my deputy.
Support.
Okay,
So,
further discussion on the motion?
We have some changes in this contract, I would like to review it as well, since we're meeting tonight.
Okay. You've had this contract for about 6 minutes before the meeting,
Right.
so I'm asking that it be tabled until the next meeting.
Ms. Burt
I have
Miller.
a tabling motion on the floor. Do I have support? Support.
I thought we were in the middle of discussion from the first motion and it got
Yep.
moved on.
I read the motion and then I made a motion to table. Okay?
Is that to stop discussion?
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Roll call, please.
Ms. John,
no,
Ms. Dora,
This is to table it?
Maybe it's need services.
No.
vote.
I'm gonna preface this, I'm voting no, only because I wanna have a conversation, doesn't mean I'm not gonna come back to the table. And that's because we just got it for 6 minutes, we've only got it, I mean, not 6 minutes, we just got it this time. And I just wanna make, I'm gonna take the liberty and say what I need to say. I wanna make sure that I make this crystal clear. Us tabling this is different from, this is a new person that we're bringing on board versus the last contract of a person that has been with us for the last 3 years. So in that case, I do have some questions as well, and very well may go with the tabling, but at least allow us to talk about it so we know what we're tabling.
Right.
And not just cut us off at the knees. So I'm voting no.
Table or not to? Not to?
Not to table it, I at least want to talk about it before we table it, if we decide to table it.
Mr. Rafter?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Summer, yes, Ms.
This is the
The
table.
table new contract.
Well, I'd like further discussion as well.
You said no? Ms. Dora? Okay, original is back on.
Continue the discussion.
okay, so, for employees in my department, half of the salary can come through the water sewer fund. So that's how, we're able to expend this salary. You'll see on the back, Ginger's resume, her experience, she's a CPA, she has extensive experience. She's been working in my office since, the end of November, and making sure things are moving smoothly. She works great with the cashiers, she works great with other departments. And this contract is pulled from both the finance director's template as well as the deputy clerk's template. She's at will, she's going to be exempt, which means she will not receive overtime pay. The dispute resolution for arbitration, we can take that out and put back the 0.5, so it's similar to, Mr. Holmes' contract, so we have at least some continuity with these 2 contracts. I did put in a 3% raise. When I looked at the rates of inflation, in 2022, Michigan's rate of inflation was 8.2%. In 2023, it was 7.9%. 2024, it's 3%. We're only in February, but it's projected to be 3.3%, but we don't have a crystal ball, we don't know what the economy's gonna do, we don't know how inflation's gonna go, so, 3% is a modest basic increase annually as long as someone's here and working hard and doing a good job. But again, it's at will, and she obviously serves at the pleasure of the treasurer, so, I would like her to have, options for some benefits. And she's, as a contractual employee, she's used to making $65 an hour, so this is a substantial, reduction in pay for her to stay with us, at $33 an hour. I'm all for, this review, as long as it's within, you know, reasonable terms with what's set forth with other employees, but, her contract does expire on the 14th, so if we table this and don't vote on this, we need, another meeting to, once it is reviewed this week, to get it, processed and approved. But I'm open to, attorney revisions within reason from this.
Then I make the motion, if you don't, we're gonna have a, okay, I was gonna make the motion, now that we at least had opportunity to talk, to table it and allow the lawyer to look at it, cause she is a new employee, and we can look at it. Yes, I will make.
Do I have a support?
Support, a chance to talk, support.
Have a motion to table by Loper, supported by King. Roll call.
Ms. Lopez.
Yes.
Mr. Baxter.
Yes.
Ms. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Sundin. Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Ms. Owen.
Yes.
Ms. Laura.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is the financial director's report.
Good evening again. I actually submitted you all this report via email there, so it's going to highlight a few things in it. We have provided you the year-to-date as of January 31, that across all of our funds, we have $12,552,356 of revenue. And that is netting against expenses of $13,516,889, which going into the month of February, was lacking about $965,000. However, there has been a tax disbursement made that will shore this up. And so as we get towards the end of the year, I'm fully expecting for this to turn around, and we'll have a second amendment, which will actually be the final amendment, that will capture these things, and it's my desire and hope to present that on March the 10th. Did want to inform you that there was 2 new grant applications submitted during this month to the state of Michigan, a $250,000 grant for emergency fire equipment. The 3 fire departments do not have the most up-to-date response equipment for vehicle entrapment. And so this request will provide each one of our stations the new generation spreaders that they're called.
We know them as Jaws of Life.
Scott and them told me they're spreaders, so Jaws of Life.
I told them I was gonna make sure we said Jaws of Life, because the people that aren't firefighters understand what we're talking
These
about.
will be operated, battery operated compared to.
Right.
Right, which will be very, very much needed, as I'm sure our firefighter, Ms. Rogers will let us know that it will definitely improve response times on entrapments, particularly with us having such wooded areas off of
Yeah, that was how it was described to me. They actually said that first of all, they had me try and lift it, which was very funny. But lift it and then have to run through the woods with it, like, especially with us having to deal with 23 there, and anybody goes off can go right up into the brush and all of that. You have to haul that thing, so.
Currently, they have to hook their jaws to a generator, to keep the jaws to be able to use them on scene. By going to battery, it would make them a lot more,
And keep Speach, and I actually was on a call with this particular grantee, and they were, as he could attest to, we're really excited that we submitted this grant. So I'm pretty positive we're gonna get some of this, if not all of that. And then there was a $25,000 grant submitted to the AARP for a walking path improvements for Bicentennial Park there that hopefully meets the merit as well. Yo and Yo has advised us that they are available to start the audit on the 9th of June, which would go through Friday, June 13th. When I presented this to Supervisor Green, he suggested that we bid the audit out. And so that would be, I think the bidding process is such that needs to come through this body before we place bids out. So I did want to bring that to your attention, that was his request. Just a little reflection on that. Our report has to be filed by September 30th in order to continue to receive revenue sharing. You know, that was the instance, what was going on when I got here, because of late audits, we were not receiving the revenue sharing. I think it's a little late to do that, but if you all do desire to do that, I would like to know that tonight, so that we can begin to put that bid pack together. There, it is widely known that there's still some degree of dissension within this municipality by my peers in public accounting. Monthly, we're on what they call front porch calls, and it's a lot of information shared there, and it would be very, very difficult, I think, to lure an auditing firm in enough time to get the audit done. But it's, and also, new audits are costlier. Finally, you all did receive the 26 budget. I have not received the amount of questions that I would have anticipated to get back. So I'm hoping that you all have looked at that, and if you do have questions, to get those back to me, because Supervisor Green wants that public hearing on the budget for Monday, February 24th. So if you could please get me anything this week. Hopefully I continue to get on the mend and be back at my desk tomorrow there, but if you can get that to me by email, I am able to receive my emails remotely, and we'll do my work at home if necessary this week. Finally, as a request for you, the spring seminar for the Michigan Governmental Finance Officers is scheduled for March 6th. It's down at the Kellogg Center on the campus of Michigan State, and I'm asking for your approval for travel and for the registration for that. The registration is $140. The mileage there and back will be $75 for a total of $215.60 there. So I'm asking for your approval of that travel request.
I make a motion to approve the travel request in the amount of $215 for our,
And 60
cents to go to the Kellogg Center for the, Michigan, can you say it again?
It also included
Michigan Governmental Finance Officers Association Spring Seminar.
It covered their reimbursement for mileage too, didn't it?
Yes, sir, that does count for the mileage reimbursement. That's for registration and mileage reimbursement, yes, sir.
Motion. To the training, $215.60. Motion by Lopez, supported by King. Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Baxter.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Gonzalez Mays.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Dora.
Yes.
Wilbur.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have a question. So, as I was listening to you, said, what would be the purpose, and maybe I should be asking you, Ms. Green, for us to change auditing firms in the middle of all of this, when we have an auditing firm, they know what we're doing, and I was here on the last term, where we worked like, I don't know what, to try to get an auditing firm here. Why would we do that? What is the purpose of that? And I'm sure, in reputation, I'm sure they've heard, not that we're the only township that's having trouble, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to single us out, members of the audience, but in those circles, they do talk. So what would be the purpose of us changing an audit firm when we're close to trying to get a new audit done? Why?
When Mr. Holmes came to my office, he explained when they wanted to do it in June, in March. And I asked him cost factors, and I said, can we put it out for bids? And he says, it may be timely. I could put it out for bids. So we can see if there's somebody out there willing to bid to save the township revenue.
Okay.
Period.
And that's what I just wanted to ask. I mean, when you bring things, we like to have some kind of explanation. I'm just curious, because if you're doing it for cost savings, let us know, but I didn't know why.
To see if we could save revenue, okay? And if we get bids, fine, if we don't, fine.
This is where I have issue with it.
Okay.
It was Yo and Yo who helped discover this legacy loss, okay, or where we're in Poland.
The legacy is being reviewed by the state of Michigan, the way they do the calculations in regards to coming up with the legacy cost.
But it's still there, the board knew, somebody here knew about it, our auditors did not at least let us know, the old ones, I'm not talking about Yo and Yo, I'm talking about the ones in the past, were not aware or did not make us aware, it was never in a report.
It was in the other audits that you have legacy cost in regards to your pension program, in regards to your medical programs. They were both there, and they were being reviewed by the state of Michigan because they were using the calculation of the mortality chart. And if an individual died before what they anticipated, there was no adjustment for taking that person back from what your liability was. So if you're supposed to live until you're 78 and you died at 62, that other calculation is still there for the township to encompass, because there was nothing in the formula that would take that away.
Mr. Green, I agree that the state owns some of this.
And the
with
state
their
is
policy,
reviewing that
yes.
now.
I agree with that, but it was Yo and Yo who brought it to light to this board 4 years ago, or 3 years ago.
I just wanted to know why.
But that was the reason they wanted to put it out for bid.
And then I question, are we gonna get somebody that would even,
We don't know.
willing, I understand that, but because we had so many say, tell us no 3 years ago. Say, no, we don't want a part of that, we don't wanna have anything to do with that. And it's about timing at this point. We're talking about Yo and Yo wants to do it for, second week in March. Can we get bids in, and at the same time get these guys on their, us on their books, cause if we don't get on their books, they're gonna put somebody else on their books for this time. So these are the things we need to speak of.
Anything else, Mr. Holmes?
No, sir, just to clarify, that was the direction to publish the bid for the audit, that's the board's.
Not the board's wishes.
We don't have to take a vote for it, to put it out for bids?
If you wanna make a motion to approve it, to put it out for bids, I will welcome a motion.
I make a motion to put it out for bids for another auditing firm.
A motion by Allen, supported by Loper, to put it out for bids. Motion by Loper, supported by Allen. I apologize.
No worries.
Roll call.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Elder, Mr. Mays?
Yes.
Zone?
No.
Dora?
Nope.
Loper?
No.
Baxter?
Yes.
Motion carried, Colbert.
Thank you, I just wanted to clarify, in putting this out, I will have to notify Yo and Yo that it's being put out for bid. That may remove us from their calendar, so I just wanted to preface that as that. Thank you.
Clerk's office.
Nothing at this time.
Next item on the agenda is public comments. You have 3 minutes to address the board. Anyone wishing to make public comments can do so at this time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Melvin Williams, and I live at 4064 Kimberly Woods Drive. I have a few questions, and I'd like to get an update. On the 14th of October of last year, the board here approved $2,315,000 to repair and resurface 30 streets. I'd like to know, first thing, the $2,315,000, where are those dollars? Are they here?
We're still at the state level.
They're still at the state level. How do you get that money?
Thank you for the question. We're actually awaiting the agreement from the state. The money will be sent in halves. We are anticipating having that agreement sometime this month. So they'll give it to us and we'll get on the calendar for the road commission during the spring road improvement period. But it's still at the state as of right now.
Okay. Now, do we have a time period? Do you have to spend that money?
By December of this year,
And what happens if we don't?
we have to ask the state to allow us to extend that.
Talking to people with such fucking arrogance. Fucking prick.
Understand. That's my question.
The roads that was requested by the previous board has went to the county road commission. They have all of those roads. There's been no changes to them.
So we still have 30 roads.
And streets, that's my understanding. I haven't changed anything, this board hasn't changed anything.
Okay.
And we're waiting for the state to release the funds so that we can pay the work when they do it. And it'll probably start in the spring.
The scheduling of those resurfacing roads
Told me
are
I couldn't record.
Left up to the Genesee County Road Commission.
Huh?
County Road
I didn't
Commission.
see him.
just because I think that's the board here have some input into that.
I've asked them to put it on priority schedule as soon as the frost restrictions are removed, and they can go forward and start the project, so we're done in plenty of time before winter hits in November. Because I'd like to have this all done by September.
Do you think we'll get those 30 streets resurfaced?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay.
And so does the county road commission, so.
Okay, thank you.
He's got my number.
Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time?
Melissa Rogers, 3243 West Mile. I seem to have an issue with these wages that are happening. They're asking for the deputy treasurer to be paid $33 an hour when the deputy clerk asked for a raise to bring her up over $25 an hour, and it was denied. And that is basically lateral. They do have different job responsibilities, but they both do the same amount of work. My other issue is they're trying to bring the cashier up to a $25 wage. When I did that position, I know the responsibility. She's already trying to get overtime because she doesn't have time to look at the mail. So she's being brought in early to look at the mail. That's ridiculous. I did that job. I know that there's time to look at the mail during office hours. Another problem I have is you have two girls sitting in the police department who do just as much work as the deputy treasurer and the deputy clerk, and they're making minimum wage. So I think that it's a serious injustice with the wages that are trying to be passed through the Treasury Department. And I think they really need to be looked at.
Anyone else wishing to address the board? 3 minutes of comment?
Hello,
Nate?
Jason, and
Name,
representing the
Jason?
property on
Jason?
Cornell.
Jason?
Guy, D-Y-E. But just for the record, I don't have to give that to you. That would be a First Amendment and Fourth Amendment violation. Next off, what I seen here was, I just did that for transparency. Right here, Bad Elk versus United States in 1900, that case upheld, not only do you have a right to resist unlawful orders, you have a right to use force to do so. So why this gentleman here seems like he's kind of scared to do his job even, is crazy. And You were hesitating to just give your decision, you know, it's crazy. Like, what kind of tyranny is going on here? I'm done with it. Who's the tyrant? That's what I need to know. Point me in the direction of the tyrant, I'll get him removed. Two judges, you know, me and my buddy, we don't play. Like, our rights need to be upheld. We the people uphold our rights. We're the ones that stand up for them. And if we do not, laches occurs, and I'm done with laches. If you don't know what that is, it's a legal term. Look it up. Literally. Second off, we're in here again, using the attorney with the person I'm helping back there with their school district, just playing these little games in court, you know what I mean, left and right. We rejected this motion and up to this motion and all these legalese things, when clearly you couldn't make this property is the old school that's on Cornell. The property was zoned when it was purchased. Commercial improved. That means it can be used for storage lots, so you know what I mean, things like that. It can't be open to the public. Reason being, you have buried gas tanks on that property. So somehow, somewhere, somebody's telling us we need to rezone this, that it's now residential. It could never be, I've flipped real estate for years, it could never be residential. If we petitioned and you guys voted and we took this with, you know, $2 million per se, there's no way possible with those gas tanks there, that's a hazard. It can never be ruled residential. So why we're here to fight this frivolous stuff? They've shut down their business, sent bogus cease and desist orders. You have code enforcers running around here with Mount Morris Township police on their uniform. I videoed it as well. We turned it into the marshals. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. That's why you guys really need to get into that Constitution and Bill of Rights and start studying it, because I think blindly there's a lot of stuff going on here. Like, my man here has really got me kind of flustered, to be quite honest with you. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know if he does a good job. I don't know any of that stuff. But when we have people scared to answer and scared to bring this up and constantly being cut off like somebody, some tyrant overlord, you know, the stuff's got to stop. That's all there is to it.
Anyone else wishing to address the board?
Go ahead.
Anyone else wishing to address the board?
The U.S. Constitution tells.
I'd just like to share this with the public.
I have a copy of it.
My name's Josh. I'd like to share this with the public. My name's Josh. Josh George, Josh James. Can I address the public now? I just want to share the public with the oath of office out of the Constitution of Michigan here. Sorry. Right here, all office, legislation, executive, judicial, before entering upon the duties of their prescribed representative office, shall take and subscribe the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state. Sorry, that was blocking me. The Constitution of the state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office according to the best of my ability. No other oath, affirmation, or any religious test shall be required as qualification for any office or public trust. Ladies and gentlemen, you are required to follow the Constitution on the state level and on the national level. The first 10 amendments are inalienable. It's clearly described in there. I suggest you read it.
Anyone else wishing to address the board?
One more thing that I left out here.
Wishing to address the board?
Correct. You have these signs everywhere stating that you don't want people to record in here, so on and so forth. You're not even live on your YouTube right now. You haven't been this whole entire meeting. You've had 5 people waiting. I got the text messages right here to confirm it. I can show it to anybody who wants to see it. So therefore, you're restricting our First Amendment activity, which is redress government, freedom of press, freedom of petition, freedom of speech, and religion. And then, you know what I mean? You don't even give us the courtesy to have it on YouTube. I mean, what is it? That's another violation right there. I mean,
It'll be on YouTube in a couple hours.
This is egregious gets.
Anyone else wishing to address the board?
I'll make sure of that.
Close public comment.
Yeah.
Attorney has left, so there's no report for the attorney. Fire chief. We have none available. I know they had a fire last night.
So they're not capable.
After 4 this morning. Chief.
Nothing at this time.
Board comment. Ms. King. Ms. King.
Take your unconstitutional signs down, no problem.
K-I-N-G, King.
I gotta record these signs. for sure.
Yeah, I thought so, but I wanted to make sure. I just wanna thank everybody for being here and being a part of the process.
Chief must already
I
know
would
who I
like
am.
to, say congratulations
I mean, the
on the
state police
contract
sent
and
out memos
also,
about me and my buddy.
moving forward, so we get those bids out right away.
Did you really?
Find out who it is that we're dealing with, so we can still be on that same time frame, with whoever it is that we are working with.
Wonder if they're still over there.
I think that's all I have, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Becker.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Mays.
Just wanted, excuse me, just wanted to apologize to the board. I missed the meeting on Wednesday, I was thinking it was Thursday. I pulled up in the parking lot and I'm wondering where they is everybody. But I talked to Supervisor Gray that evening, and he said, well, it was yesterday. So anyway, I just wanted to apologize for that. The other thing that I would like to comment on, Bicentennial Park.
Couple things of embezzlement going on in there since I
There was
was
sprays of mosquitoes there.
Good to know.
Because I took my grandkid and they ate us up. And I'm wondering if that's something that we might be able to look at, so residents can use it without being swarmed in a swarm of mosquitoes. I just want to put that out there for discussion at a later date.
Thank you. Anything else?
That'll be it.
I just want to, impress upon the board, we need to take a look at this contract sometime this week, so hopefully you have, some availability for special meeting, to get this put through.
Interesting.
When is your contract?
It expires Friday.
This Friday, the 14th.
Yeah, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me regarding those, when you look through it. And then I'm gonna, make the necessary adjustments that we discussed, so it's more in line with, the changes that we made to, Mr. Holmes.
Can we get that in advance too? If possible? The contract.
Sure.
Mr. Allen?
Thanks for everybody coming out, everybody be safe, I got a storm coming out, so, watch where you step. Okay. That's all I have.
Yes, I just, you know, I know sometimes it looks like that we're up here, and I think, I just wanted to make this for clarification. When we're putting people's livelihood on the line, contracts, it's their livelihood. And so we're trying to make the best decision. And, you know, it may seem like, well, we needed a table for one thing or not the other, but we just need to be able to talk it out and just hear one another. So I appreciate us, even though it took us a minute to get through some of these things, I appreciate us doing that. And for the gentleman sitting in the back, I may not totally understand what it is with this whole constitution that you're saying, or where you're coming from, but I respect the fact that you're up speaking your piece, and with everything that's going on, we may not like each other or understand each other, but we gotta learn to respect one another. And we gotta try to get better at that, and I just, you know, am trying to move this board forward. And as I said earlier, you know, I was disturbed about what had happened with the contract with Mr. Holmes, with comments being made on it, it shouldn't have been there. We've gotta respect one another, and I just want us to get better at that, and hopefully we can, and board members be safe, and have a good evening. And thank you for saving me for last, Mr. Green. I'm just messing with you.
Motion to adjourn? Open
Myself, yes, Mayor.
Yes.
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 Yeah. I've seen, I can feel that. Right?
I'm just trying to learn this.
Melissa, but we do, here, there's things to do.
I'm not
Yeah, the signs are right on here. Watch this.
I don't know what you're talking about by the Constitution.
Turn off cell phones, it says, huh?
Isn't that cute?
Oh yeah, that's garbage.
Hey.
I'm waiting for it. That sounds pretty good for right now.
Dwayne, is this you? In a hurry to leave that quick, you don't want to phone?
Open it up.
Let me look and see what I can find out.
Why aren't we? What happened?
I wanted to know if I could figure out. Oh, we should have been on YouTube.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Something on vacation, but
Okay, and it just.
But you know, Latrell can operate, because you know, he could do
Yeah,
it.
because reach out, because
Stay there.
people get used to having that.
Hey, ma'am,
Absolutely.
no disrespect to you, okay? There's a book called The U.S. Constitution for Dummies. I have a copy of it. It's excellent reading material. It'll help you understand the Constitution way better if you want. They have it at a lot of libraries. You wouldn't have to buy it.
You know, like I said, I'm willing to listen, may not totally understand, but I'm willing to listen to it.
Yeah, it breaks down both the Constitution and all the amendments in layman's terms so anybody can understand it.
Okay.
Very informative.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. I'm not so Two more things, you know what I mean?
What's his shirt say? Chief Leach?
that's what it says.
Ain't a fancy public name.
You didn't hear what I said. I said Leach. That's funny. No, he said, yep, that's what it says.
Yeah, everybody in the office That's everybody.
Well, there's a lady.
Man, need to exercise your distance. Do the right thing. That's what it seemed like.
We have the employee woman, man on the side. Separate lockers.
Agree with me. I'm just gonna make it happen. But you know me, I got a
I'm gonna look that book
No
up.
co-ed.
I'm gonna look that book up that you told me about.
Yeah, I have a copy of it in my car,
Oh,
actually.
then look it up.
Yeah, the second edition is the better
I can
one.
understand what it is that y'all, you know, where y'all coming from.
Right, yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Should check out Article 6, Section 2.
Right?
Article 6, Clause 2 is the supremacy clause. You ready for this one? Any law made repugnant to the United States Constitution renders itself null and void on its
You see, it says it's supposed to be broadcast live, but it wasn't. All right, so that was quite the shit show in there. Oh, I ain't going nowhere yet.
There it is. Now we gotta check some, there we go. Yeah. I might remember it. Yeah. My name. I look up people for a living. My name, yeah. Yeah. We're situation starters.
Oh, you got dirt? I want to hear it.
Yeah. You lie. She don't want to be.
Oh, okay.
I can get recorded though.
I'll call you back.
You can record me. So apparently the blonde lady up there who's the treasurer, her husband is the chief in Clio, which explains why she's here, but they live in Clio. They don't live in Mount Morris Township. So what are you doing here? Also, you seem unqualified because every time you're here, you're asking for help to do your goddamn job. So what the man?
You talk to my old lady, she's almost a paralegal. She flat accused her of embezzlement right out in front in these meetings. I don't know what exactly she picked apart, but she would call her flat out guilty of embezzlement.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know what that is, but I know it ain't right, and I know it can't happen, and I'm gonna figure out how to get you fucking in trouble.
Right.
Literally.
Well, we need to go to the state and have the state come in.
$600,000 budget they're supposed to have on a piece of paper for me, and when I walk in tomorrow and say, "Give it to me."
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, I want to know where this is going.
There's nothing here. There's not a public park. Do you see the public park on my block?
Yeah, it's behind us.
Well, there's one here. No, there's another one on my block. You see a picture of it. Fucking, there's no signs. They're not out there. I'm like, somebody ain't put a $1 into that in 60 years.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's supposed to be a public park on Mott, I think, in
I'm assuming that's what's left of it in the center of Cornell there. If you go down a little bit, I'll show you. It's clearly.
I know where you're talking about. My buddy lives over that way.
Okay, yeah, I bought that school there for $25,000. That whole property.
I was just looking at that too.
They're fucking coming at me for $226,000.
That's what they're trying to say, zone residential.
They're denying all my FOIAs. They come at me with fake cease and desist letters. Since I've been there, they fucking illegally surveillanced me for the first 4 months.
Have you taken them to court on the FOIAs yet?
Oh yeah.
We're on it right now.
Okay.
They got like 3 cases on these bitches right now.
So, but we ain't got a real lawyer. We're learning as we go. We're smoking on them.
Yeah.
Trust you, me.
Right.
She's only a couple classes away from having an actual be able to go and hitting that bar test. Fucking not totally, you know.
It is.
You recording?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to say something to the camera? Because he's had this whole meeting recorded when they didn't record it.
I mean, but they didn't record. It wasn't intentional that they didn't record it, but just. The
I
one
know
girl
every
that runs
sign they
it's
have
not
down
here.
now, so they must have did some checking into the First Amendment, because when I came up here 3 weeks ago and I got them on recording, all their can't record yada 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 signs, now they're all gone.
Oh, they were all over the place.
I'll show you.
They probably put those up because I was here like 4 years ago recording them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they record in there 2 different directions. I mean, so I mean, it's recorded.
Yeah, look at that. Just
They hate transparency.
all of them do.
I didn't know there was a sign, to be honest. I really didn't.
No, I did see it at one
But
point in
I
time,
don't
a couple
look-
times
I
when
don't
we were
care.
Man, I wish I'd have known the sign was up.
I record them. I'm going to record. I'm recording anyway.
I wish I'd have known the sign was up. I'd have come in and made sure they all knew I was recording.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of obvious with this
Right,
setup,
right.
but
For sure. Yeah, I try to get them to incriminate themselves when I'm doing shit like helping people, and I want them to act like tyrants, so I don't want them to
all you gotta do is watch them.
I
They
just wanted to
incriminate
straighten out
themselves
my
on a daily
taxes,
basis.
so I'm willing to pay. But right now, I think I can see how to throw out the whole fucking state of Michigan tax bill right at the moment, call the whole thing unconstitutional and unenforceable. And right now, they're going to leave me to not pay them a penny in the courtroom.
Right.
But where they're coming, I want to pay a normal, reasonable amount of taxes so my community can move forward. But I'm not here to get robbed.
Yeah.
Hey, asshole! Hey, Larry, you're a piece of shit!
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Fucking good driving. There's the township tyrant.
I made sure he knew I was recording.
Little cronies in there, mad as hell, wanting us to not come to their fucking meetings anymore. I'm sure of it. You trying to hide?
Yeah, Larry's sitting there hiding. Oh, he's on his computer, I think, maybe.
Yeah. They'll probably call the cops. That'll be funny. Fucking tyrant town. I wonder if they're smart enough to shut their blinds.
Probably not. They're
Wanna
probably
make
broke.
$1 back? You got $1 back?
They're probably broke. That'll be on the next agenda. New
Next
blinds.
agenda, new blinds. Fucking just tint the windows, spray paint them. He's mad. They're mad as fuck.
Yep. I don't think they like you guys chewing them out.
I hope they don't.
Not ready for his oath of office.
Facts. I wonder what they're saying.
I don't know.
God damn it, I hate these fucking motherfuckers.
There's Larry. Hi, Larry. How you doing, buddy?
That's harassment. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I wish you cops would, dude. Get your cops
No,
too.
that's First
You need
Amendment
laws.
expression.
Yeah.
I'm redressing with my middle finger.
Yeah. Enacting 4 of your freedoms of the 5 pillars of the First Amendment?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a very, very good constitutionally protected activity.
Where's the chief leech? I mean, Veek. I'll give him my middle finger too.
Right. Right. And if they fucking want to sue, we're gonna go
Be
after
like, hey,
the
I got
judge
something
and
for you too.
everybody. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love doing that. You put your hand in your pocket. Hey, I got something for you.
Right.
There it is.
Unrelated shit.
Which one?
Oh, there's the leech right there. Hey, Chief Leech, how you doing? Oh, he's got one of his cronies with him too. Do you like that? There's the head bastard in charge. How you doing, fuckface? You've been a tyrant thorn in this township for a long time. Your reign's gonna end soon. Piece of shit.
I request shit in my lawsuits besides money. Believe that. Yes, sir. I'll file a fucking lawsuit with no money.
Bye, Leech.
Oh, that's a damn camera fucking on this dude's phone fucking. I got his face beautiful through the fucking window.
Yep.
From here.
Bye, Mitch.
You know, he called you an asshole when he was coming up.
I know. I heard him.
Do
He
you know
called.
that?
I heard him call me an
You get
asshole.
some shit for that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's a little legal shit. It's not a whole lot, but it's fucking annoying. And we should do it.
Right.
I'll do the paperwork for free. Just to slam it. Yeah. I don't think there's anybody else here worth fucking around with.
Yeah.
No point in
Everybody
freezing.
done left.
Right. But yeah, we'll be in touch, dude. For
They've
sure.
vamoosed quick.
I got some nutty shit. I'll tell you when they're done.
Matt.
I'm Josh. Nice to meet you, man.
Jason, one more time.
Oh, been a pleasure. I love it.
Oh yeah. All right, y'all.
All right, man.
Have a good one.
You too.